이거가 okay. The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Chapter 1. Rocky looks into a wardrobe. Once there was for children whose names were Peter, Susan, Edmund, and Lucy. This story is about something that happened to them when they were sent away from London during the war. Because of air raid, raid, they were sent to the house of an old professor who lived in the heart of the country, 10 miles from the nearest railway station and 2 miles from the nearest post office. He had no wife and he lived in a very large house with a housekeeper called Mrs. Macready and Macready and 3 servants. Their names were Ivy, Margaret, and Betty. But they did not come to the stories much. He himself was a very old man with shrezy and white hair which grew over most of his face as well as on his head. And they uh, him almost at once. But on the first evening when he came out to meet them at door, he was out looking that Lucy, who was the youngest, was a little afraid of him, and Edmund, who was the next youngest, wanted to laugh and had to keep on pretending he was blowing his nose to hide it. As soon as they had said good night to the professor and gone upstairs on the first night, the boys came into the girls' room and they all talked it over. We've fallen on our feet and no mistake, said Peter. This is going to be perfectly splendid. That old chapter, uh, that old chap will let us do anything we like. I think he is an old dear, said Susan. Oh, come off it, said Edmund, who was tired and pretending not to be tired. Made him bad tempered. Don't go on talking. Like what? Said Susan. As anyway, I'm bad. Like Edmund, and to say, when I go to go to bed, I'm to go to bed. When I'm go to bed, when I'm to go to bed, to go bed yourself. Hadn't we all better go to bed? Said Lucy. There's sure to be a row if we were here talking here. No, there won't, said Peter. I tell you, this is the sort of house where no one's going to mind what we do. Anyway, first, it's about 10 minutes walk from here down to the dining room and any amount of stair and passage in between. What's that noise? Said Lucy suddenly. It was a larger house than she had ever been in before, and sorts of all those long passages, and the row of door leading into empty room was beginning to make her feel a little creepy. It's only a bird, silly, said Edmund. It's an owl, said Peter. This is going to be a wonderful place for bird. I should go to bed now. I say, let's go and explore tomorrow. You might find anything in a place like this. Did you see those mountains? Hmm. As we came along, and the woods, there might be eagle. Hmm. There might be stag. Is it? Uh, there will be bad girl, said Lucy. Pox, said Edmund. Rabbit, said Susan. Well, when next morning came, there was a steady rain pouring. So thick that when you looked out of the window, you could see neither the mountain nor the woods nor even the stream in the garden. Of course, it would be raining, said Edmund. They had just finished their breakfast with the professor, and he had set apart for them a long with the two windows looking out in one direction and two in another. Do grumbling and to one. It will clear up in an hour or so, and in the meantime, we are pretty well off. There's a wire and book. Not for me, said. I'm going to explore in the house. Good night. Okay. Everyone agreed to this, and that was how the adventure began. It was the sort of house that to come to the end of and so expected place. The first few doors they tried led only into spare bedrooms as every that they would shoot of armor, and after that was a room all hung with green, with scarf in one corner, and then came 3 steps down and 5 steps up, and then a kind of little step upstairs, hall, and a door that led out onto a balcony, and then a whole series of rooms that led into each other and were lined with books. Most of them very old book, some bigger than a church. And shortly after that, they looked in quiet except for one big wardrobe. Wardrobe, the short. It has a looking glass window in the room at all, except that blue bottle on the nothing there, said Peter, and they all threw it out of except Lucy. She stayed behind because she thought it worse while trying the door of the wardrobe. She felt almost sure that would be surprised it opened quite easily, and two mouse ball dropped it out, looking into the inside. She saw several coats hanging up, mostly long fur coat. Well, there was nothing Lucy liked so much as the smell of people. She immediately stepped into the wardrobe and got in among the coats and rubbed her face against them. More often, of course, because she knew that is foolish to shut oneself out. He went to further in and found that there was a second row of coats hanging up behind the first one. It was almost quite dark in there, and she kept her arm stretched out in front of her so as not to dump her face into the back of the wardrobe. She took a step or 3 steps always accepting to peer to work against the tip of, tip of her finger, but she could not feel it. This must be a simply enormous wardrobe, thought Lucy, going and pushing of the coat aside to make room for her. Then she noticed that there was something crouching under her feet. I wonder is the more for she thought, stooping down to peel it with her hand, but instead of peeling the hard, smooth wood of the floor of the wardrobe, she something so and she said and went on a step or two further. Now what was Why is he up tree? Exclaimed Lucy. And then she saw that there was a back of the wardrobe out, out to have been, but the wrong way of hmm, something cold and soft was falling on her. A moment later, she found that she was standing in the middle of the air. Lucy felt a little outstanding, but she felt very inquisitive and excited. She looked back over her shoulder, and there, between the dark tree trunk, she could still see the open doorway of the wardrobe and even catch a glimpse of the empty room from which he had set out. She had, of course, left the door open, for she knew that it is a very silly thing to hurt oneself into a wardrobe. It seemed to be still daylight there. I can always get back if anything goes wrong. So Lucy, she began to walk forward, crunch, crunch, over, over the snow and through the woods toward the other light. In about 10 minutes, she reached it and found it was a lamp post. As she stood looking at it, wondering why there was a lamp post in the middle of a wood, and wondering what to do next, she heard a pitter pat pitter patter of feet coming toward her, and soon after that a very strange person stepped out from among the trees into the light of the lamppost. He was only a little taller than Lucy herself, and he carried over his head an umbrella white with snow. From the waist upwards, he was like a man, but his leg was shaped like a goat's. The the hair on them was glossy black, and instead of feet, he had goat's hoof. And he also had a tail. But Lucy did not notice this at first because it was neatly cut up over the arm that held the umbrella so as to it keep it from trailing in the snow. He had a red woolen muffler around his neck, and his skin was rather reddishy too. He had a strange but pleasant little face, with a short pointed beard, beard and curly hair, and out of the hair there stuck to horn, one, one on each side his head. One of his hand, as I have side, held to umbrella. In the other arm, he carried silver brown paper, purple. But with the pockets and the snowy, it looked just as if he had been doing his Christmas shopping. He was a pawn. And when he saw Lucy, he gave such a start of surprise that he dropped all his puzzle. Goodness gracious me! Exclaimed the pawn. Chapter 2. While Lucy found there. Good evening, said Lucy. But the pawn was so busy picking up its puzzle that at first it did not reply. When it had finished, it made her a little bow. Good evening. Good evening, said the pawn. Excuse me, I don't want to be inquisitive, but should I be right in thinking that you are a daughter of Eve? My name's Lucy, said said she, not quite understanding him. But you will forgive me. You are what they call a girl, said Palm. Of course, I'm a girl, said Lucy. You are in fact human? Of course, I'm human, said Lucy, still a little puzzled. To be sure, said Pan. How stupid of me, but I've never seen a son of Adam or a daughter of Eve before. I'm delighted. That is to say, and then it stopped as if it had been going to say something it had not intended, but had remembered it time. Delighted, haha. Uh, it went on. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Pomnus. Tomnus. Tomnus. I am very pleased to meet you, Mr. Tomnus, said Lucy. And may I ask, Lucy, daughter of Eve, said Mr. Tomnus, how you have come into Narnia? Narnia? What's that? Said Lucy. This is the land of Narnia, said the palm. Where are you now? Or that lies between a poster and the great castle of Cair Paravel on the eastern sea. And you have come from the wild woods of the west. I got into the wood rove in the sprayer room, said Lucy. Oh, said Mr. Tom, Tom News in a rather melan, melancholy, melancholy voice. If only I had worked harder at geography when I was a little pawn. I should know. Love, love to know all about those strange country. It is too late now, but they aren't the countries at all, said Lucy, almost rapping. It's only just back there, and I'm not sure it is summer there. Meanwhile, said Mr. Tomnos, it is winter in Narnia, and it has been forever so long, and we shall both catch cold if we stand here talking in the snow. Daughter of Eve from the parent and the sprayer we're eternal summer reason around the bright city of wardrobe. How would it be if you came and had tea with me? Thank you very much, Mr. Tumners, said Lucy. But I was wondering whether I ought to be getting back. It's only just around the corner. It's only just around the corner, said the Pound, and there will be a roaring fire and toast and sardines and cake. Where It's very kind of you, said Lucy, but I shouldn't be able to stay long. If you will take my arm, daughter of Eve, said Mr. Tomnus, I shall be able to hold the umbrella of both of yours. That's, a, that's the way. Now off we go. And so Lucy found herself walking through the woods, arm in arm with this strange creature, as if they had known one another all their life. They had not gone far before they came to a place where the ground became rough and there were rock all about and little here up and little here down. At the bottom of one small valley, Mr. Tumnus turned it suddenly aside as if he were going to walk straight into unusual, unusually Raji rock. But the at the last moment, Lucy found he was leading her into the entrance of a cave. As soon as they were inside, uh, she found herself blinking in the light of a wood fire. Then Mr. Tumnus stopped and took a flaming piece of wood out of the fire with a neat little pair of tongue and lit a lamp. Now we shan't be long, he said, and immediately put a kettle on. Lucy thought she had never been a nicer place. It was a little dry, clean cave of reddish stone with a carpet on the floor and two little chairs, One for me and one for a friend, said Mr. Tumnus. And a table and a dresser and a mantelpiece, mantelpiece over the fire, over the fire, and above that a picture of an old pond with a gray beard, beard, beard. In one corner there was a door which Lucy thought must lead to Mr. Tomnus's bedroom, and on one wall was a shelf full of books. Lucy looked at this while he was sitting out the tea things. They had the title like the rifle and the letter of Silenus and Nymph and dear were their way of man, monk and gamekeeper. A study in popular legends or is man mice? Is man or mice? Now, daughter of Eve, said Pan, and really it was a wonderful tea. There was a nice brown egg, lightly boiled, for each of them, and then salad this on toast, and then buttered toast, and then toast with honey, with honey, and then sugar topped cake. And when Lucy was tired of eating, the pan began to top it. No, no, no. Mm, to talk. He had wonderful tales to tell of life in the forest. He told about the midnight dance and how the nymph who lived in the well and the dried who lived in the tree came out to dance with the pond about long hunting parties after milk after the milk. White stage stag, white stag who could give you wish if you caught him about feasting and treasure seeking with the white red draft in deep mine and caverns caverns vanish the forest floor, and then about summer when the woods were green and all the Silenus, old Silenus on his pet donkey would come to visit them, and sometimes Bacchus himself. And then the streaming would run with the wine instead of water, and the whole forest would give itself up to jolly, jolly, jollification and jolly, jollification for weeks on end. Not that it isn't always winter now. he added gloomily. Then, to cheer himself up, he took out on the dresser a strange little flute that looked as if it were made of straw, and began to play. And the tune he played made Lucy want to cry and cry, want to cry and laugh and dance and go to sleep all at the same time. It must have been an hour later when she shook herself and said, "Ah, Mr. Tomnus, I'm so sorry to stop you, and I do love that tune, but really I must go home. I only mean to stay for a few minutes. It's no good now, you know," said Pam, laying down its flute and shaking its head at her very sorrowfully. 끝.